अस्सलाम वालेकुम व्यूअर्स। हाउ आर यू? कैसे हैं आप? एक नई वीडियो के साथ मैं हाजिर हूं केमिस्ट्री पर अलबायास। Today we will discuss the different concepts of acids and bases which are presented by different scientists. As you know that in our daily life we taste and eat different substances. Some substances had sour taste, they are regarded as acid, just like in the form of lemons, in the form of apple, in the form of grapes. And some substances have bitter taste, just like we have baking soda we use, just like जो हरी मिर्च हैं जिसे कहते हैं चिलीज, उनका bitter taste है. So such substances which has bitter taste, they are regarded as base. In our daily life we say, and the substances which have sour taste, they are regarded as acids. But how to differentiate acids and bases from each other, how we can identify chemically, and how we can identify through chemical reactions, through chemical changes, that such substances are acids and the others are bases. So for this purpose, different scientists presented different theories which can explain acids and bases up to some extent. So the first concept which was presented by Swan Arrhenius, that is called as Arrhenius acid and base. According to Arrhenius concept, what will be the acid? So that is called as Arrhenius acid. So I will define and explain some examples with the help of this theory, which is called as Arrhenius acid and base theory. So first we will discuss what is Arrhenius acid. I have written Arrhenius acids. Now those substances which splits in water, which dissolve in water and splits into ions and produces protons, they will be called as Arrhenius acids. How? Suppose I write hydrochloric acid and again I want to write H2SO4. In the other reaction, I will write HNO3, that is called as nitric acid. In the other reactions, I will write H3PO4. So I have written 4 examples and 4 compounds which contain hydrogen in their structure, in their formulas. So the first one is called as HCl or hydrochloric acid, with that when HCl splits in water. If we add HCl in water, it will be split into cations and anions. And if it produces proton, then such substances are called as Arrhenius acid with the help of water, which will be used as a solvent. Those substances which produces proton in aqueous medium are also called as Arrhenius acids and base acids. So again, this compound contains 2 hydrogen, therefore it will produce 2 protons, but this acid will split into 2 steps. It will produces 2 proton because here we have 2 hydrogen and sulfate ion will be produced. Aqueous mean water. That solution in which water is used as a solvent, that will be called as aqueous solvent. Therefore, I have written AQ inside parenthesis. That is the meaning of aqueous solution. And if I split this compound inside aqueous medium, so it also produces a proton, a single proton, because nitric acid contains only a single hydrogen. Okay, so it will produce a single proton and a nitrate ion. In the nitrate ion, oxidation state is -1. In the last acid which I have written, that is called as phosphoric acid, and it contains 3 protons, 3 hydrogen atoms here at the reactant side. So again in the aqueous medium it will split, and as it contains 3 hydrogen atoms, therefore it will split into 3 protons, and 3 protons will be produced here in this medium, and phosphate ion will be produced. So such compounds which splits in aqueous medium or in water and produces protons, they will be called as Arrhenius acids. अब सवाल ये पैदा होता है कि I have written these 4 compounds. Among these 4 compounds, which will be the strongest acid? Which will be the strongest Arrhenius acid? So that compound which is ionized in one step, as HCl contain 1 proton in the nitrate, it is also 1 proton inside the nitric acid, but in O3 strong oxidizing agent, therefore in the HCl the proton will be easily ionized, completely ionized, so HCl will be the strong acid among all these acids, and the other acids are weaker acid as compared to HCl. So such compounds which contain hydrogen and splits in the aqueous medium and produces protons, that will be called as Arrhenius acids. We can also write the organic acids as I have written these acids, and these acids are called as minerals acids because they can be produced from the minerals, from the salts, and they are inorganic. Therefore, the inorganic acids are called as minerals acid or simple mineral acid. Or you can also write inorganic acid. Beside in organic acid, we have also organic acid, and those organic acid also split in water and produces different types of protons. In some acids, only 1 proton will be produced, and the other acid, 3 or 2 protons will be produced. Here, this acid will be ionized in 3 steps because it contains 3 hydrogen atoms, therefore it is weaker. In the sulfuric acid, we have also 2 hydrogen atoms which will be ionized in 2 steps. I will show you the ionization of sulfuric acid into 2 steps, that how it is ionized in 2 steps. Now look here, H2SO4, sulfuric acid, it is added inside an aqueous medium. We have 2 hydrogen atoms. It can also written as H and HSO4. Okay, so this lone pair will be attracted toward hydrogen sulfate ion, and proton will be formed here. It become positively charged, it become negatively charged, and hydrogen sulfate ion will be produced. In the first step, 1 proton will be released from the sulfuric acid. Then again the hydrogen sulfate ion will be taken, which also contain an extra proton or hydrogen atom. So in the second step, that is the first and that is the second. In the second step, the second proton will also release in the water, and now sulfate ion will be produced. Here 1 positive charge, so therefore on the hydrogen sulfate there will be 1 negative charge. Here 1 positive charge again reduced, so there will be -2 charge. 2 पॉजिटिव चार्जेस कम हो गए तो -2 होगा, 1 पॉजिटिव चार्ज कम होगा तो -1 होगा, 3 पॉजिटिव चार्ज कम होंगे तो -3 होगा, 4 पॉजिटिव चार्ज कम होंगे तो -4 होगा. So sulfuric acid ionized in 2 steps, while hydrochloric acid ionized completely in 1 step. Therefore, HCl, which is hydrochloric acid, is much stronger as compared to sulfuric acid. So that was about the Arrhenius acids. Now we will discuss Arrhenius base. That what is Arrhenius base and why it is called as Arrhenius base. Okay, so I will write Arrhenius base. Such compounds which ionize in water and produces hydroxyl negative ions. Okay, I will write this compound. Caustic soda, sodium hydroxide. I can also write potassium hydroxide. I can also write calcium hydroxide. Here oxidation state of calcium plus 2, therefore 2 hydroxyl group will be present and the hydroxyl oxidation state is minus 1, potassium plus 1, sodium oxidation state is plus 1, hydroxyl ion oxidation state is minus 1. Now if we split such species in water are ionized in the aqueous medium means water here, okay? So again I will write water. Now look, to these molecules which I have written in the form of caustic soda, in the form of potassium hydroxide, in the form of calcium hydroxide, they will split in water. How hydroxide ion will be produced? It has ionic forces positive and negative. So it will be split inside water because water is called as universal solvent and the second the water is polarity बहुत ज़्यादा है वाटर ट्रांसपोलर कंपाउंड भी है और वाटर यूनिवर्सल सॉल्वेंट भी है और इसकी डाई इलेक्ट्रिक कांस्टेंट की वैल्यू बहुत ज़्यादा है तो आयनिक कंपाउंड इसमें स्प्लिट हो जाएंगे तो यहाँ पर हाइड्रोक्साइल एक्वस आयन विल बी प्रोड्यूस sodium ion. Here one potassium ion will be produced and hydroxyl ion will be produced. Okay students? Now here we have two hydroxyl ions, so we will put 2 before the OH ion. Calcium ion is produced which has oxidation state plus 2 because it belongs to group number 2nd. Therefore it can last electrons. It can last 2 electrons because it has 2 electrons in the s orbital. Two hydroxyl ion will be produced. Okay? Sodium and potassium. Now come to these two elements. That this base is strong or potassium base is strong. I have already told you in the previous videos that down the group the reactivity will be increased, the basic character will be increased, the ionic character will be increased. If we go to the alkali groups, we will start from lithium and lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium and francium. So down the group ionic character increases because ionization potential decreases, the basic character also increases, the reactivity also increases. So potassium hydroxide which is a strong base is compared to sodium hydroxide. And in the calcium hydroxide we have two hydroxyl groups, so it will be ionized in the 2 steps. So calcium hydroxide is much weaker base as compared to sodium hydroxide and potassium hydroxide. You can also write the weak bases as well as strong bases. Between these two bases, which one is sodium and the other is potassium hydroxide? So potassium hydroxide is stronger as compared to sodium because potassium is below in the group as compared to sodium. So potassium का आयनिक कैरेक्टर ज्यादा है, बेसिक कैरेक्टर ज्यादा है, रिएक्टिविटी ज्यादा है. डाउन द ग्रुप पोटेशियम का आयनाइजेशन पोटेंशियल डिक्रीज होगा. तो जब आयनाइजेशन पोटेंशियल डिक्रीज होगा तो इसकी रिएक्टिविटी ज्यादा हो जाएगी. It can easily split in the aqueous medium. Here for this base is strong as compared to this one. Here if you look to the group number 2nd members, calcium belongs to group number 2nd, so it has 2 hydroxyl group. It will be ionized in 2 steps, which will be partially ionized because it ionizes in 2 steps. And these 2 ionizes in 1 step, so these 2 are stronger as compared to this one. So this was all about the basic Arrhenius base, that such compound which splits and dissolves in water and produces what? Hydroxyl negative ion. They will be called as Arrhenius bases. Now we will come to the limitation of this concept. What are the disadvantages of this concept? All compounds which have hydrogen, they either split in water or not. And all those compounds which contain hydroxyl ion, either they can split in water or not. That is the limitation of this concept, because not all compounds contain hydroxyl ion, not all compounds contain hydrogen ion. So this concept is very limited, and it is used for only those compounds which contain hydroxyl ion and hydrogen ion and can split inside water. Suppose if I write CH4, if I write C2H6, okay, if I write C3H8, तो अगर ये वाटर में इनका रिएक्शन हम वाटर के साथ करेंगे तो इसमें हाइड्रोजन है, लेकिन ये प्रोटॉन प्रोड्यूस नहीं कर सकता क्योंकि ये इसके साथ रिएक्शन नहीं करता। इसी तरह अगर मैं इसको लिखूंगा नो प्रोटॉन विल बी प्रोड्यूस, यहाँ पर मैं वाटर लिखूंगा no proton will be produced. So these compounds contains hydrogen, but they cannot ionize inside aqueous medium in water, and they cannot produce proton. So these compounds cannot be explained on the basis of Arrhenius theory and the Arrhenius concept, because in the Arrhenius theory and Arrhenius concept we have studied that the compound containing hydrogen will be split inside aqueous medium and produce proton, but these compounds contain hydrogen atom, but they will never split in water and will never produce proton. Therefore, this is one limitation of Arrhenius concept. You can also write the disadvantages of this theory. Okay. Now we will go to some bases which will also not split inside water. Now come to now I will write CH3OH. This is called as methanol. I will write C2H5OH. These two compounds belong to alcohol family. One is methanol, then the other is called as ethanol. Okay? We are discussing what? Limitations are the disadvantage of Arrhenius concept about acid and base. If we add alcohol in water, then what will be happen? Alcohol will make hydrogen bond with water molecules. No hydroxyl group will be produced. Alcohol will make hydrogen bond with water molecules and will be completely dissolved inside water. Therefore, alcohol is organic, but it can make hydrogen bond with water molecule. Therefore, it will be completely dissolved. Just like table sugar is organic, but it completely dissolved in water because they can also make hydrogen bond with water molecule. So, such species which can make hydrogen bond with water molecule, they will be completely dissociate or dissolved in the aqueous medium. So still it contain hydroxyl group, but it will never produce this hydroxyl group into water, and it cannot be ionized in water. That is another limitation of the Arrhenius concept. Okay. In the same way, if we add ethanol in water, then what will be happen? Ethanol is also belong to alcohol family and the second member of alcohol after methanol, so it will also make hydrogen bonds with water molecule. ये दोनों जो है वाटर के साथ हाइड्रोजन बॉन्ड बनाएंगे, हाइड्रोक्सिल ग्रुप पे प्रोड्यूस नहीं कर सकते, हाइड्रोक्सिल ग्रुप प्रोड्यूस नहीं कर सकते. Therefore, this concept is very limited and it is only and only used for some compounds which can donate proton in water or which can donate hydroxyl negative ion in water. Not all compounds can produce proton in aqueous medium. Not all compounds can produce hydroxyl negative ion in the aqueous medium. So this concept is limited a narrow concept. Only some acids and bases can be explained with the help of Arrhenius theory, but that was the first attempt to explain the acid-base behavior, the acid-base theory in the chemistry. After this, we will discuss some other concepts of acid and base, but at the end, I am telling you that the most broader concept is the Lewis concept or Lewis concept, which can explain a lot of compounds as acid, a lot of compounds as base. So, if you want to know more about chemistry, so please subscribe my channel and share and like this video, and then you will receive new videos for discussion, for learning. Thank you so much.